New Black Wall Street Book Club. Evan Jefferson, brother, much love. Educating, elevating, because in knowledge is the power and we'll never give it up. Literature's for the masses. Where to put your money down, now how to watch your assets. Yeah, uplifting others is a passion. My brother Evan, he will turn it into action. New Black Wall Street Book Club. You should come read with us. Yeah, we comprehend and discuss. Yeah. We all just come together. There's no limit for us. Here comes your host, New Black Wall Street. Evan, take it away. New Black Wall Street Book Club. New Black Wall Street Book Club.
Good morning, my beautiful people. What's up, Garfield? Chat about what? What do you want me to chat about? What's going on? Miss Taylor is in the house. How are you doing? Good morning. Today is Black Woman Wednesday. Oh, I got to put that in there. That's right. It's Black Woman Wednesday. Make sure that we let every Black woman know that you are loved and that you are appreciated, that we need you in our community. We thank you for being a rock and being a support and bringing that tender love that we need. Black woman, we love you today. We appreciate you. We thank you. We honor you today, Black woman. Today is your day. Continue to be phenomenal. Continue to be unique. But to continue to be who you are, we absolutely love you. We love you. We love you. We need you. Black woman, this clap is for you. Absolutely, yes. Black woman, thank you. We adore you today. You're beautiful, sister. Yes. Black Woman Wednesday. Make sure you go out today and you make sure that you appreciate every Black woman that you come across. Every woman has a story, has a testimony, has been through something, has overcome. We appreciate your strength today. Want to make sure that we give you all the love and all the praise and all the adoration. You deserve it. Today is your day. Single mothers, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Absolutely. What's up, Garfield? How you doing, brother? New Black Wall Street Book Club, man. Here's what we do. We actually, they say if you put it in the book, Black folk won't read it. Well, we doing is reading. That's what we're doing. And what we're reading is we're going through lessons from the richest Black man in the world. That's right. Lessons from the richest Black man in the world. And of course, I've written a book about this, man. It's called the Black Billionaires Club. As a matter of fact, Black Billionaires Club is going to print. We're getting our proof back today or tomorrow, hopefully. And then we'll be ready to print by Monday. And then you guys should start receiving your books. And the release date is set for July 4th. That's right. That's Black Economic Independence Day. That's right. That's Black Economic Independence Day. You get your books. We're going to have a book launch party as well on the 8th. We'll be doing that in Atlanta, Georgia. So hopefully you're here. If not, come on down to the Billionaires Brunch Club, where we start to launch this thing out and we start to meet on a regular basis. That's going to be where all of the wealth strategies are taking place. That's right. That's going to be where all the wealth strategies are taking place. If you don't have the book, if you haven't ordered the book yet, make sure you do that. www.theblackbillionairesclub.com. You order before Independence Day, you will get a signed copy. And I'm telling you, I don't know about what you think, but I believe my signature is going to be worth something in a couple of years. It might not be worth nothing now, but it's going to be worth something in a couple of years. So you might want to get that authored book, that signed book, to make sure that you are on the ERGJ train. That's right, the ERGJ train. That's just what we're doing. Matter of fact, I want to let you know today's show is sponsored by the ERGJ Black Bazaar, where we bring African imported products and Black-owned products to your doorstep, making group economics easy. Everybody put in the comments below, easy. Making it easy. You're going over to the ERGJ Black Bazaar. Go over to that page. Check us out. Check out all the things that we have. Go ahead and shop to your heart's content. Matter of fact, we got something. We got the Kenya dashikis that are available. This is an example. I got one on. It's authentic dashiki straight from Kenya. The non-hooded one, the one that I have on, is $20. And then we also have one that you can get that'll have a hood. I'll show you one with a hood. It's in blue that you can get as well. Yeah, you can get your hooded dashiki as well. And that's going to be $25. You want to get the hood on top of it, okay? So it's got your pockets in the front, straight from Kenya, because African American. That's right, African American. That's just what we do, guys. You go ahead and order you a dashiki. Make sure that you are representing the motherland in your African print. You get that straight on over from the ERGJ Black Bazaar. They'll let you know that the ERGJ Black Bookstore is open in 24 hours. I told you I'm going to get this thing open in 48 hours. Today is day number 2, and we will be open and ready to rock and roll today. That's why I don't take no time. It don't take that long to build a business. Don't take that loan to open up, especially when you're e-commerce. I want to show you some things that you can actually get to actually support the Black bookstore. Matter of fact, start with number one, Black Dollars Matter. Black Dollars Matter. Teach your dollars how to make more sense. You want to order this book today. You can get it for $20. We get that thing out to you ASAP Rocky. All you got to do is just inbox me, Black Dollars Matter. We'll make sure we get your invoice out. We get that out to you ASAP Rocky. Make sure you have it by Friday. We also have another book, a children's author book by a 10-year-old entrepreneur. His name is Mikey. Mikey Wren now has 5 vending machines. He actually has an enterprise. And he wrote a book about a story. He's going to teach other kids about entrepreneurship. Mikey learns about business. You actually get this book for the kids. It's illustrated. It is a children's book on business. That's right. A children's book about business. Get this book for $15. I mean, why not start your kids early? Why put them through the education pipeline that's going to lead them to be another employee? Why not teach them some business concepts that they can understand for $15? See, what you don't understand is that an investment in a book pays back a big old return. An investment in a good book pays back a big return. Here we go. Here, Wesley Learns About Credit. That's the next book for it. It's another children's book that we have available for it. Anything that you make an order for today is going to go towards ERGJ bookstore that I'm building. Wesley Learns About Credit. See, I'm not asking you to give me no money. I'm asking to exchange something of value for your money. That's right. $20. You get Wesley Learns About Credit, the illustrated children's book that introduces your children to credit. So you don't want to wait till you get in college and somebody else introduces you to credit and then you start your whole life off in debt. No, you want to get to learning this stuff early and teach your children early what you learn late. And last but not least, we got another offer for you as well. That's Wesley Learns to Invest. Too many black folk don't know nothing about investing. As a matter of fact, we can start teaching your children about investing at an early age, and you can start with a book. $20 investment into the education, self-education of your children. I don't know where else you're going to spend that $20. I mean, you're going to buy some more ice cream? You're going to buy some more candy? You're going to buy some more toys? Or you're going to buy an education? $20 to get Wesley Learns to Invest. The children's, one of the only children's fictional illustrated books written by a black man that teaches kids how to invest. That's right. First time only. Written by a black man. See, we make history. I don't know if y'all know that. We make history. That's just what we do. So you can order that. Wesley Learns to Invest. Wesley Learns About Credit. Mikey Learns About Business. Or you can also choose to do Black Dollars Matter. I believe every black man that's watching right now, you should have this book. Okay? And I know women too, but specifically I'm talking to black men. You're going to be the provider in the family, but you ain't going to provide no strategy on what to do with the money when it come in. Don't make no sense, boss. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. But nonetheless, let's get right to what we need to talk about today here on the New Black Wall Street Book Club as we're going into Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Now, we're picking up where we were at yesterday, and Dangote, in case you don't know, Aliko Dangote, this little trivia question for you. He's the richest black man in the world, okay? The richest black man in the world. And I think it might be good to listen to him, okay? If you want to be wealthy, I think you might want to take some notes today. So you want to make sure you have your notebook, you're taking down some notes, you got your little phone or whatever you got to do to capture. Everybody put in the comments about capture. You want to capture wisdom. You got to capture it. You can't just let it just go on by and just be like, oh, that was a good story. You got to capture wisdom. Then you can meditate on that thing. And then you can implement that thing. So today we're getting into Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. And let's just do a quick recap. I haven't done a recap in a while. Commandment number 1 was he said you want to start a business for which you have a passion. You want to start a business for which you have a passion. Why? Because passion will get you through the tough times of business, of the business cycle. Passion will carry you through when you feel like quitting. Okay? Passion. Commandment number 2, he said, was to start small. Start small. Say, why start big? Start small. Capture you some wins. Get you some wins under your belt. Start small. Number 3 said to sell cheap, to give quality, but don't kill the competition. We learned in that chapter, it said in that commandment that competition actually is good. Competition is healthy. Competition keeps you from complacency. Commandment number 4, he said, if I can remember, what did he say? Was no substitute for hard work. There is no substitute for hard work. And unfortunately, we find in our community there's too many black folk who don't want to work. They want to beg, they want to borrow, but they don't want to work. And he who doesn't work should not eat. You don't work, you don't eat. Commandment number 5, he said, was to adopt the catch me if you can policy. Everybody put in the console, catch me if you can. What we learned there was the philosophy that when I look at my life or I look at my future, I look at where I'm headed, and I want to think about 10 years, 20 years from now. This is my future self. This is my hero. This is my superhero. This is who I am to become. I want my future self looking back at me saying, catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. You think about where you are in the marketplace, you want to dominate. You want to tell everybody in your market, in your arena, in your sector, to catch me if you can. In other words, be the head honcho. Dominate. You didn't get in the business to compete. You got in the business to dominate. And that's exactly what black folk do. We dominate. Commandment number 6, which is what we're in today, he said, be law-abiding. Don't fight the government. Now, I find this very interesting that the richest black man in the world is telling us not to fight the government. But yet all the poor people, all the poor black people in the world are saying fight the government. Isn't that interesting? The richest black man in the world is saying don't fight the government. The poorest black people in the world are saying fight the government. I don't know who I should listen to. Do I want to be poor or do I want to be filthy rich? I think I'm going to listen to the richest black man in the world and see what he got to say about don't fight the government. That's a battle you can't win, by the way, but keep on keeping on. You want to fight, but you don't want to vote. That's very interesting. You want to fight, but you don't want to vote. Matter of fact, you probably don't even know some elections are coming up in your local government right now. Right? You're fighting without any information, without any knowledge. You're fighting a fight you can't win because you're not educated. You got a lot of energy, you got a lot of enthusiasm, but you are naive. You're not armed with information, with education, with knowledge. You're reacting. You're reactive people instead of proactive. See, when you fight before the war, you win the war. But when you fight after the war is already lost. Let me say that again. It's called a pre-fight. When you prepare yourself in the pre-fight, you win. Practice. But when you decide you're going to get ready for battle, after the war is already fought, you lose. Black folk, too long, you've been reactive. You're always reacting to what you see on TV, reacting to what some cop has done. But then when all is said and done, there'll be more said than done. Until you get to the place where you're proactive, where you're making stuff happen so stuff don't happen, you're going to find yourself having a cycle all over again, year in, year out, decade after decade, because you're reacting. In other words, you're not in control. You're letting someone else control you to do what they want you to do because they know your tactics have never changed. Keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. You keep getting the same results. And then you want to complain, blame, and all that. But that's just my little silhouette. Let's get right into the book. Where were we? I think we were at where's well, I don't know where we're at. Let's see here. I don't know where we're at yesterday, but let's pick up right here. Oh yeah. The marketing environment. He was talking here from this story, discovered a major problem in the marketing environment is one where dog eats dog. Said at this stage of the business, did you begin to use the room as a oh, we passed that. We passed that already. Let me see where I was at. Oh yeah, family spirit. Let's repeat that. So he said, well, that was the beginning of your company's problems, my colleague said. How? The man asked, apparently surprised. He said, when we were all together, everybody putting council together. When we were all together, there was a kind of family spirit. My colleague said, everybody saw himself as a member of one big family. And everybody was putting in his best for the interest of the family, or for the interest of the community, or for the interest of the organization. When we were all together, there was a kind of family spirit. See, before integration, we were all together because we had to be together. But now that we're integrated, we don't have to be together, so we choose not to be together. He says, when we were all together, there was a kind of family spirit. Everybody put in comments below, everybody saw himself or herself as a member of one big family. And everybody was putting in his best for the interest of the family. And that was when the business was booming. That's when Black Wall Street was around, when everybody was putting in effort in the best interest of the community. You're all one soul and one body. But when you separated, the family spirit disappeared. The eyes of your staff opened and they realized that the family spirit thing was a mere illusion. That they were in reality working for somebody else and not for themselves. From then onwards, decline set in. Continuing, my colleague said, what I'm telling you is born out of research. Once you separate from your staff and begin to go through another route to your office, they only see you through the lowered windows, or while entering the lift to your office, rumors will begin to spread about you. What they were not noticing about you when you were all together, they will begin to notice. Whether you are getting taller or shorter will become a subject for discussion. The type of shoes, the suits, or car you come with to the office will begin to be subject for discussion. Once that begins to happen, decline in productivity would set in, as they would rather put more time into gossiping than into production. They'll put more time into gossiping than into production. They put more time into gossiping than they do into production. Arising from gossips, illusions, and this incentive would set in, and before you know it, the company has gone under. Now, I see this a lot. I believe I see this a lot in the Black church. When the Black church first starts, it's a family. And then as they grow, the pastor separates himself. He's got an entourage. Now he's got Secret Service. Now he's got the mansion and the car and the private room. He separates himself. And in the midst of separating himself from the crowd, instead of being the shepherd with the sheep, he separates himself. The next thing you know, the sheep are talking about the old shepherd. Talking about the shoes that he wears, the car that he drives, the plane that he flies. Because he separated himself. In other words, he left the sheep behind. However, I'm not trying to say that it's a must for you to stay crammed up in the same room with your staff. You can have a separate office and still retain the family spirit. You can do this by making it a point of duty to pass through the general office on your way to the office in the morning or on your way home in the evening. The more they see you in the general room, the more they feel that you all are one. As you come in the morning or in the evening and call one or two staff by the first names and exchange pleasantries or even jokes with them, even if you're putting on gold-tainted suits or driving a Lamborghini, nobody would notice it. All right, even if they do, it will be not a subject for gossip, but rather admiration. Your frequent presence, everybody put that in the comments below, frequent presence in the midst would override every other thing. Now, I know today is Black Woman Wednesday, But frequent presence speaks volumes to me about the black man in the family structure. You must have a frequent presence in your wife's life and in your children's life. A frequent presence. If you spend your whole entire life working away from the family, away from your children, never making the games or the recitals or the practices or the moments, you find yourself in a position where you're a man of gossip instead of a man of admiration, because you're never there. We can all understand that you're doing what you got to do to provide for the family, but you're never there. You're nothing more than an ATM, brother, because you're never there. You promise to show up, and then you put your job over your family. You make your job, making money, a priority over your family. You're never there. How many moments are you going to miss because of work? They only graduate once, twice, maybe 3 times. He didn't make one. You only go to prom 1 or 2 times. You didn't make one. You wasn't there when they hit the home run. You wasn't there when they stole home plate. You wasn't there when they scored the touchdown. You wasn't there. How long are you going to make work a priority over moments with your family? Moments with your family. Again, try to know the names of as many of your staff as possible, both senior and junior. You could be walking into the company premises in the morning or seeing an unfamiliar face. Say something like, "My name is Richard. I'm the MD of this place. May I know you, sir?" I bet for the next 1 year, the guy would not forget such an encounter. Play 1 or 2 minute games with your staff. Liven up the places. Your staff will be charged enough to charge their work or your customers. If your staff are not well charged, they cannot charge your work or your customers. And if your customers are not charged, the desire for repeated patronage will not be there. The man nodded as my colleague paused for breath. I want to say that you are making sense in what you're saying, because when we relocated, after a while, I noticed that there was some kind of coldness hanging in the air in the premises. The man said, the enthusiasm that was in our former location disappeared when we came here. But what are you trying to say that it's because I moved into my own office? It's not because you moved into your own office, but because you separated yourself from the rest of your workers. My colleague replied, the enthusiasm would have still been there if you moved into your office and continue to go to the general office regularly to interact with them. Because no matter how busy you are, they are your engine room. And if they're not if they're not in high spirit and functioning optimally, whatever you're doing in your office would come to naught. Quite all right. You had a head in each of your departments, but they are not you, and it cannot be you. Since they are not you, they cannot represent you adequately. Woo! It is you that have the vision. And as such, it is only you that can give the leadership that will lead to the actualization of your vision. We got to read this again, because many of you guys have really got to let this sink in. Number one, I want you to put in the comments below, interact. I know that I'm talking to some leaders right now. Why do I know that? Because I understand the law of attraction. I attract to myself who I am. So I understand who I'm talking to right now. I understand also there may be some stragglers who try to figure the whole thing out. I understand who my audience is, because it's just the law of attraction. I attract attract likes. Okay? You got to interact with your team. Speak this again. This is good stuff. You got to interact with them, because no matter how busy you are, they are your engine room. You got to understand that your team is your engine, right? You're nothing but the pilot. You're nothing but the captain. You're nothing but the driver. All you do is steer. But you don't make your company go. You don't make it go. You steer it in the right direction, but you do not make it move. It's your team that makes it move. You got to interact with them. Don't be too busy for your engine. They're the engine room. If they're not in high spirit and functioning optimally, whatever you are doing in your office would come to naught. Quite all right that you had a head in each of the departments and they're not, but they are not you. And they cannot be you. They are not you. And they cannot be you. Since they are not you, they cannot represent you adequately. They may be able to represent your business, but they cannot represent you. Repeat that again. They may be able to represent your business, but they cannot represent you. It is you that have the vision. And as such, it is only you that can give the leadership that will lead to the actualization of your vision. Now, I want to ask you this, because we're not just talking about business in my eyes, we're talking about a lot of aspects of life. When you find yourself in some organization, in your family, in your community, whatever, got to understand that it's you that gives the leadership. It's you that has the vision. It's you. So if something were to go wrong, if your business was to fail, if your vision does not come to pass, it's because of you. And something that you have neglected, which more than likely is going to be other people. Delegated responsibilities is good, but effective supervision of the delegates is very important because your delegates may sometimes have an agenda different from your own, and they be working for your rivals. Even in a situation where they're not agents of your rivals, they might not have what it takes to express the mission and vision of your company very well to the staff. That is why it is advisable for you to be doing brief stops on a regular basis. If you don't, you may wake up one day to discover that your company is in the red or that you don't have a company to run anymore. Everybody put in the comments below, if it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. This is just a different way of saying personal accountability, personal responsibility, taking charge, taking control. People are there to help you, but you still have to guide them. Still have to supervise them. And I want to tell you today that if you think you're a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever it is, and you don't have any supervision skills, no management skills, think about this. You want to run a company, but you haven't picked up management skills. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, but I believe that God himself told Adam and Eve to be good stewards or good managers over the resources that he had given them. Is that what I read? Is that what it said in the book that was written 2,000 years ago, to be good managers? And so this is let me tell you something. This is why the term boss is very dangerous. Because you think you run something when you should be understanding that you manage something. Let me say it again. The term boss, I'm a boss, you a boss. You love that stuff so much. You love these little catchy stuff. It's very dangerous because it puts you in a position where you think you run something. And all the while, you've been given something to manage. And while you might be a boss, my question today is, how good of a manager are you? How well do you manage people? How well do you deal with attitudes that are different from yours? How well do you manage people? Can you imagine 150, 200, 300 people, all with different personalities, banging on your door, asking you questions day in and day out? You're trying to manage them as people, and you're trying to run the business. Are you prepared for that responsibility to manage people? This is why entrepreneurship is so interesting. Because there's people out here who don't want to deal with people. They hate people. They're not even a people person. But they're trying to run a business, not realizing if it ain't for people, I won't have a business. I don't know who I'm talking to. I know I'm talking to somebody. You got to learn how to manage. Good steward of the resources that have been given to you. Not just running the business. Running the business is pretty easy. I'm going to say that. Running a business is pretty easy. That's easy. What's hard is managing people. That's the hard part. All these different personalities, these desires, these wants, trying to get people to see the vision and understand it, keeping it simple and plain so anybody can get it. Dealing with the inconsistencies and the problems and the issues, the personal problems that they bring in the business. Are you really ready to manage people? Another important thing is that you should not keep your staff in the dark about what is going on in the company. I remember the case of a once promising company whose workers woke up one morning to discover that the company had changed its motto. How do you think that the workers of that company will want to bring out their best when the management could hide from them a thing as banal as that? Whether good or bad, try to carry your workers along. Since you trusted them enough to employ them, you should also let them know some of the things that are going on in the company. If the company is doing well, let them know. If it is not doing well, let them know. That will help you to get the best from them at both good times and in bad times, because carrying them along gives them a sense of belonging, a feeling that they are valued and appreciated. Carrying people along gives them a sense of belonging, a feeling that they are valued and appreciated. The name of the book is Dangote's 10 Commandments on Money. Lessons from the richest black man in the world. Don't keep your staff in the dark. Now, again, this goes beyond it supersedes or it transfers, well, I don't know. This goes into all different realms, guys. It's not just your company as a black CEO or black CEO or whatever you are. We're talking about simple stuff. We're talking about your family, not keeping your family in the dark, wherever it is that you're leading them, if you're leading or whoever's leading the family. We're talking about your organizations that you're a part of, not keeping them in the dark. Between where you're going, what's going on, transcends. Thanks so much, Robert. Right? I run a club about 150 people. I got to keep them in the know of what's going on. Got to communicate. That's the word. Communication. See, I understand that if we make a mistake, we do something wrong, they can understand it if we communicate it, not if we try to cover it up. They'll be more bitter if we try to cover up our mistakes than if we just admit our mistakes. And mistakes we gonna make. It's just the bottom. We gonna make some mistakes. We already know that. We don't know when they coming, but we know we gonna make some. That's just called being human. But people can accept your mistakes when you admit your mistakes. What they cannot accept is trying to cover it up or lying about the mistakes that you made. When you lie, you break trust. And trust is one thing that I found in life to be the hardest thing to recover. Hard to get back trust once it's lost. And once you're known as a liar, even on that small scale, that little bit of lying, that little bit of fibbing, that little bit of not telling the whole truth and nothing but the truth, once you lose trust, you lose respect. And people don't want to work hard for people that they don't respect. However, I'm not saying that there should not be classified information. Certainly not. There should definitely be some management-only information. But learn to give 75% and keep 25%. If it becomes the other way around, you're laying landmines, which could definitely explode because you're running a closed door policy. You're giving room for gossip and rumor mongering, which are the products of suspicion. Once you shut your staff out of what you are doing, they will begin to imagine things to fill the void that you have created. And naturally, the product of their imagination will not make you popular among them because what promoted the imagination was suspicion. At the end of it all, it would tell them the business as people will become demoralized. That was one of the things that happened in your company. What this dude just said here, let me repeat this again. There is some classified information. He says this, he says, if you're running a closed door policy, how many guys think about this right now? There are some marriages in the Black community that are operating with a closed door policy. There are some family relationships I'm thinking of right now, the mother or the father to son, the mother to daughter relationship that has a closed door policy. Anybody ever remember growing up and they say things like, you don't need to know that, or things like, you know, you're too young, or things like that. Like they keep information from you instead of breaking it down into a simpler form that you can understand. They just tell you don't need to know that. Closed door policy. Says once you're giving room for gossip and rumor mongering, which are products of suspicion. Everything that's in the dark leads to suspicion. Everything that's in the light leads to revelation. Repeat that again. Things that are in the dark lead to suspicion. Things that are in the light lead to revelation or enlightenment. Do you want your relationship to be filled with suspicion, which leads to lack of trust, which leads to divorce, which leads to hate? Or do you want your relationship, whatever that relationship is, friendship, marriage, dating, peer-to-peer, boss to employee, I don't care, to be filled with light, which leads to revelation, which leads to trust, which leads to love? Reveal before you conceal. Good one, Robert. Goes on to say that once you shut your staff out of what you're doing, they will begin to imagine things to fill the void that you have created. Fellas, I think this speaks directly to us. Are there some voids in our marriages, in our dating process, in our relationships with our children? Are there some voids that we've created that they have to fill? Are there some dark areas that we have created that they have to fill with their imagination? That imagination only leads or only comes from suspicion. And because it only comes from suspicion, fellas, whenever you step out the house and because you've left a void, the woman can only think you're going to go be with another woman. Because you left a void you've created that leads only to suspicion. That doesn't mean you're out doing nothing bad. It just means that you've left a place where imagination can run free. In other words, you haven't communicated very well. You haven't checked in while you were gone. You cut your phone off for some strange, odd reason. You didn't answer the phone call when it came in, nor did you call right back. You left a void. You created it. And then you let imagination run wild. Woo! At the end of it all, it will tell in the business as people will become demoralized. That was one of the things that happened in your company. The man nodded in total agreement. I quickly moved to handle the external part of the business since my colleague had done justice to the internal angle. My intention was to prove that for a company to be on the upswing, both internal and external arms must be up and doing. For instance, if those in the production department are working very hard, those in the marketing department are lazy about, then the efforts of those in production would be in vain. On the other hand, if those in production are lackadaisical and those in the marketing are working hard, the marketers would be laboring in vain. What's your marketing style, I asked. Our marketing strategy is customer focused, the man answered. We are aware of the fact that without customers who make repeated purchases, we have no business. Therefore, the customer is the main focus of our business. And whatever will keep him or her coming back is very paramount to us. Dear Black business, do you understand that the customer should be the main focus of your business? And that you should be willing to do whatever. Everybody put in the comments for whatever. You should be willing to do whatever it takes to keep him or her coming back. That should be paramount. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to keep your customers coming back? Whatever. It sounds good, but a little academic. Maybe from one of the business schools, I said, and then asked, how have you been enforcing it? Well, I've always tried to emphasize the importance of good customer relationship to my staff. Try to let them understand that it is because of the customer that we are in business, he replied. That is equally good, I said, but I like it a bit when the policy sounds a little tough. For instance, something like, if you offend me, I may forgive you, but if you offend a customer, I will not forgive you. You know that some human beings like being handled with an iron hand before they will behave. If you adopt the kind of policy I'm suggesting, it will go a long way to guide such staff. But mind you, that can only work if they have a very competitive condition of service. If not, your words will have no weight. Your staff would be breaking your rules without qualms, since they would not mind quitting your company. By the way, how do you get your customers? When we started, we ran lots of advertisements in the newspaper. We also printed and distributed handbills and flyers, as well as did some road shows. All that helped to announce our presence in a very big way. It paid off as customers began to troop in from the day we opened for business. In fact, it is on record that no company in our line of business started the way we did. And that was one of the reasons we got to the top very fast. After commending him, we casually pointed out that he was still using the old system of marketing, which is waiting for customers to come and buy. I'm gonna stop right here. We'll pick this up tomorrow. I want you to think about what he just said, and I want you to think about your business right now. If you have a business or you're thinking about starting a business, we're talking about, this is really Boss Vest. This is really business building or business training or for the entrepreneur and the entrepreneur. What is your marketing? These are some good questions this brother asked. What is your marketing strategy? He also asked, he asked, what's your marketing strategy? He talked about being customer focused. Then he asked, well, how do you go about getting your customers? And now he's talking about the old system of marketing. I want you to understand that I see this all too often. The old system of marketing. And there's too many times where people believe that because it worked in 1995, it's going to still work today. Well, The premise or the principle still works today, but the method must change. Your methods must evolve with the times. For example, we recently went to the Black grocery store, tried to help them save their business, help them raise some money, but they didn't want to change their marketing strategy, right? They got what they were looking for, but they didn't want to change. They didn't want to evolve. We mentioned to them, say, hey, you might want to start delivering or using Uber Eats to get your food to the customers. In other words, go to the customer if the customer won't come to you. Didn't want to implement the strategies. And now we see Publix and Kroger delivering to their customers, implementing the same strategy that we have for our Black business into their business. What's your marketing strategy? How do you get your customers? Another example. This past Saturday, we're at a party. We're doing vending. There are a couple of vendors who are out and about, hustling and bustling, going to the customers, letting them know that they're there. Come check out the table. The other vendors are sitting behind the table, waiting on customers to come to them. Who do you think made the most money? How are you getting your customers? Do you really think that your customer is going to find you, or do you need to go find your customer? We're going to get into this tomorrow. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into this tomorrow. Because, again, this goes back to what Robert is saying. Black folk, you are too reactive in all your ways. Reactive when it comes to politics, reactive when it comes to business, reactive, which means you're not in control. It's the proactive person that is in control, that takes control, that attacks, that gets what they want. Not the reactive person. The reactive person gets the crumbs. The proactive person eats the steak. I'm gonna ask you today, do you want the steak or you want the crumbs? So guys, we're going through Dangote's 10 Commandments on money. Now, I don't know about you, but every day I'm excited to read more and more of this book. I haven't read, this is my first time reading, okay? I'm just reading, I'm just sharing with you what I'm taking away from the book, and hopefully you're taking away something as well. Matter of fact, right now in the comments below, let us know, what did you learn today? Right? We're not here just to entertain you. We're here to teach you, help you grow, become better, make more money. What did you learn today? Go ahead and take it down right now and let us know what's your takeaway from today's message, today's lesson from the book club. Matter of fact, guys, I believe that money is the exchange of value for value. And if you got any value out of your ERGJ experience today, why don't you go on over to the ERGJ Black Bazaar page and leave us a review. That's going to be your simple way to say I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate the New Black Wall Street Book Club, and I appreciate what I learned today. Simply leaving a review. See, I could close this off and I can charge for my time, but I believe we got some people who understand the exchange of value for value. And if so, you'll take a little moment to exchange some value, which is just a simple review of your time with ERGJ. Ms. Bethany says this, her takeaway is, if it is to be, it's up to me. Robert says, feed and distribute. You got to break them fish down. But today, man, we're going through commandment number 6, not chapter 6, commandment number 6. I think we got, let's see if we got 2 more days in this. Let's see this. 1, 2. We got 2 more days in this, okay? So we're going to wrap this thing up on Friday. If we don't get through, you guys got to get the book and read the rest yourself, okay? Well, we're going to pick up on law number 7 next Monday as we keep going through the 10 Commandments on money from Dangote. Well, guys, we're just getting lessons from the richest black man in the world. The richest black man in the world, Aliko Dangote. He does run a publicly traded company. He is a part of the book that I've written, which is the Black Billionaires Club. Black Billionaires Club goes into print, right? It goes into print actually on Monday. So you want to make sure that you pre-order your copy. If you order by July 4th, you will get a gift. I don't know what that gift's going to be because I'm changing the gift up today. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to add as your offer. But nonetheless, whether you get a gift or not, get the book. Now, here's the deal. I also am asking for your help because I really could care less whether you buy the book. What I'm concerned about is if you can help me get into your organizations. What my goal is the 2018 Black Billionaires Book Club Tour is to come to your city. And I want to come to every elementary school, middle school, high school, college, non-profit, church, everywhere that there's Black folk that want to learn about Black wealth. So you're not going to learn this stuff, Black History Month. They talk nothing about Black wealth. You're not going to learn this stuff in your home. We talk nothing about Black wealth. My goal is to reach every soul that I can, Black soul that is, to teach them a little bit about Black wealth and how 12 Black billionaires built their wealth. So you got to learn, you got to hear the story. Got to hear the story and see if there's anything that connects to you, and then maybe you can be the next Black billionaire. Well, guys, this episode is brought to you by ERGJ Black Bazaar. We do have your dashikis available, 20 or 25, depending on whether you want hood or non-hooded. We want to let you know the Black bookstore is opening soon in 24 hours. We do have the books available to you that we mentioned to you. Black Dollars Matter, you can get for 20. Help me out. Help me get this store open. Mikey Learns About Business. That's $15. You want to get that. The children's book about entrepreneurship. The book about Wesley Learns About Credit. The book that's going to teach about the kids about credit right here. And then also the children's book about investing. Teach your children about the stock market. Teach your children about investing. We want to teach our children early what we learn late, and quite possibly what we never learned at all. Well, guys, ERGJ is certified financial educator, founder of the New Black Wall Street. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in today at the New Black Wall Street Book Club. I want you to remember this, that it takes a village, but it starts with us. Let's build Black wealth together. You guys have a good day. Thank you so much here on Black Woman Wednesday. Black women, I love you.
It's the New Black Wall Street Book Club. Black Wall Street. With your host, Evan Jefferson. It's time for us to go. Yeah. Now, you ain't got to leave the computer, but we encourage you to get out there and learn and apply all the things you learn at the New Black Wall Street Book Club.